Leander, Paes, Mahesh, Bhupathi, thank you very much for being a part of this show. It's really exciting to see you guys together. In fact, before I start the interview, I want to pinch myself. I want to pinch myself because my favorite tennis duo is back again and you are sitting right in front of me. And you guys are back for a series called The BreakPoint. My first question is, why is the series called The BreakPoint? What is it about? And the most important question of all, who wins the BreakPoint?
Well, we win the BreakPoint. It's a very relevant term to tennis. It's a very relevant term that Mahesh and myself are all too familiar with. We have lost a few breakpoints in our career. Yes, I must agree on that. And we do have a few flaws that we have as individuals. But the best part of this journey is to tell our story raw, to tell it very real. And the main motive behind why I did this is to inspire a generation to prove that if we two young Indian boys can be world champions, then any young Indian kid, boy or girl, can be world champions in any field.
Mahesh, do you want to add anything here?
No, I think, like he said, you guys should watch it. I think then you get a better flavor. But, I think we've been approached, I think, individually and collectively a lot of times to tell the story because, there have been, specifically in the fans' minds, a lot of questions about, the breaks that we took during our 18-20-year career of playing together. And, a lot of people know, that the talent that Nitesh and Ashwini have as filmmakers, but not many people know the love they have for tennis, which kind of came out, when we had our first conversation with them, and they really know the sport inside out. They're obviously lovers of the sport. They've been to Wimbledon to watch multiple times. So, we married the whole package and we thought, they were the ideal partners for us to be able to tell this story independently. And hopefully everyone will enjoy it. We've all spent countless hours on Zoom calls, articulating the entire 20-year journey that each of us had. Leander probably started a little earlier than I did. So, he had longer sessions, but, we've been involved from, telling our point of view to obviously shooting what we had to getting, getting a lot of our colleagues and families and friends involved in, narrating their aspect to it. So, it's been 18 months of literally reliving the last 20 years, which, at my age specifically, it has been, an exciting 18 months.
Leander, this show is a docu-series. Why couldn't this have been a fiction where there could have been actual actors playing your parts?
So the best part I liked about it, Osama, is the fact that we kept it real. We kept it very raw, like I said earlier. That sure, we could have taken other actors. Sure, we could have taken people who resemble us, who play our parents, who play our siblings, who play our coaches, who play our trainers, and play different characters along the way. But what's magical about this is that we play it ourselves. And to watch our parents giving their version of the story, to watch our siblings giving their version of the story, to watch our coaches giving their perspectives on the story, to watch different friends and different people who were along with us on this journey give their perspectives of what they thought of us at different times of our career, made this last 12 months really interesting. I think also for me in particular, there are certain nuances in the story which I never knew of what Mahesh was thinking. And to revisit that 20 years later, and one, either laugh about it, two, either clear the air, three, either build our bond closer now than what it was at certain times of our career, is what made this journey very special. I think that if I speak for both of us, we both sit back and realize that there are a few flaws that we've had over time. And if we had done it a little differently, things could have been different as well. But at the same time, because we have different perspectives, we actually complete each other. And that's what made us a very formidable team. And I feel that that is what I have respect for what we have achieved and what we have already proven to be world champions and be #1 in the world in our craft.
Well, Well, you talked about the bond between the two of you, and we experienced it for a number of years when you guys were playing on the circuit. A lot of fans don't know how you guys parted ways and chose to follow your own journeys separately. Is it being addressed in the series or it is not?
Yeah, I think some questions will be definitely answered. I think some questions will remain unanswered. I mean, I think the most prominent question out there is, through all the breaks and the reunions, how we were able to still play an extremely high level of tennis and continue to, rack up those wins. And, I was asked that on camera, and I honestly don't have an answer for that, because it is it's something that till today I can't explain, because it just pens down to the chemistry that I think we developed very early on in our careers. To, we didn't have to talk to each other for a week, but we'd still have, perfect symmetry and chemistry on the tennis court. So right. How did that happen? I don't know, but it happened, and I think we're thankful for it.
What about you, Leander?
I call it magic, Osama. And I think that when you watch this docu-series, especially in certain episodes, and I'm not going to give away too much here, but you'll actually see how the makings of champions are done. You actually get to see what patriotism is all about. That we could, as two individuals, be fighting and have difference of opinions, not even communicating on the tennis court. But when it comes to playing for the Tiranga, how we are united to play for the country. That is the reason that we have the world record of 24 undefeated Davis Cup matches in a row. So regardless of our differences, regardless of our highs and our lows, this docu-series takes you through the journey of two individual families and two individual boys with different opinions, difference of perspectives, but how we became a very formidable team for India to prove that we can be Grand Slam champions too.
Now this question is for the both of you. Tell us about the most favorite part of the series in this story. Of course, the audience is going to watch the entire series and they're going to love it. But personally, which is the favorite part of the series for you guys?
I think my favorite episode, would be episode 4, Wimbledon.
Absolutely.
I mean, Wimbledon, the win at Wimbledon is probably the pinnacle of our whole careers. But, the way they've showcased Wimbledon and how special it is with the footage and the previous winners and some of our colleagues speaking, and our matches in maybe all 3 rounds of the quarter semi-finals. I think that's definitely my favorite episode.
No, absolutely. And what about you, Leander?
For me, it's very hard to pick a favorite episode, Osama. It's very hard to pick a favorite part of any episode, because I think that Ashwini and Nitesh Bhai, the way they've actually told the story, and they've been able to interweave 2 different journeys of 2 individual boys and 2 individual families coming together to make one, but yet show the different perspectives. They've actually stayed very true to the human emotions of both Mahesh and Leander. And that is really unique, because it's not about who's right or who's wrong here for me. It's about the journey of the makings of a champion. I can sit here and tell you that I have a few flaws for sure. I can sit here and tell you I have a few strengths. Same for Mahesh. But what's unique is how we actually, Mahesh's strengths were my weaknesses and my strengths were Mahesh's weaknesses. And the way that Nitesh Bhai and Ashwini have told this story is brilliant. I think you guys will have fun with it.
Now, you guys have talked about your journeys. Your journeys has been fantastic. It has been inspiring. It has taken the Indian tennis to a different level altogether. Now, one lesson that the players of this generation, especially the Indian players, can take from your journey, what would that be?
No, I think what we were able to demonstrate to them is that we can win at the highest level at the world stage, right? I mean, before we started playing together, I mean, obviously no one had won a Grand Slam. And then, today right. Things have changed. Obviously we won a few, and Sania's won and Rohan's won. So, we've been able to demonstrate that it can be done at the highest level. Earlier on, goals were to kind of, one day I want to play at Wimbledon. And now I think goals have changed to one day I want to win Wimbledon. And I think that's that's the big change.
What is that one thing that you would not want the young players to take from your journeys? What is that one thing that you would definitely not want them to do that you have learned the hard way?
I would think it would be the ability to communicate and reinvent yourself after you achieve your goal. So from the age of 14, when I had a vision that Mahesh and I could win Wimbledon and be #1 in the world, when I shared it with Mahesh, he laughed at me and he said, "Tu to pagal hai." But then we strived for so many years to become Wimbledon champions, to be #1 in the world. And in 1999, when we did achieve our goals, as a senior brother or as a senior partner, it would have been unique to look beyond that. It would have been smart to look beyond that. Yes, it's good to have a goal. Yes, it's good to strive and work and do the hard yards to achieve that goal. But I think the mental aptitude should be such, Osama, that you look beyond the goal. Once you win Wimbledon, then what? Once you become #1 in the world, then what? And I think that thinking is not really brought to us in the Indian context, because more of the question why you're trying to achieve your goal is, aapka auqat kya hai? It's not about after you win that medal or after you win that trophy.
Yeah.
Then what?
Yeah.
And I think that I can, take my share of responsibility in that. That I wish I had prepared after we win Wimbledon, then what?
Okay, one last question, and this is from all of us fans and from everyone that I know who have watched tennis and loved you guys for years. Is there a possibility, and I'm sure this is a question that a lot of people are going to ask you, is there a possibility that Mahesh Bhupathi and Leander Paes will come together? Maybe for an exhibition match, maybe on the Masters circuit, we don't know. Will it ever happen?
I'm glad you mentioned Masters circuit. Yeah. We never know. If we get invited to play the over 45s at Wimbledon, I'm sure we will we'll consider it, because it's a very special venue.
And for me, it was really special we came together to do BreakPoint, because it's been many years in the making. Our differences kept us away. The opportunities kept us away. Getting the right team together to make this docu-series kept us away. But I'm really grateful and thankful to Z5 for believing in this story and supporting this story the way they have. I'm really grateful to Ashwini and for Nitesh Bhai and the whole team who we've become so close to, because we've lived with them for the last how many months now making this. And being a pandemic COVID time, we've all had to live in a bubble and get this done. And I'm really grateful to Mahesh to actually come to the table and do this real and raw. Some of the stories are quite intriguing. You're going to have some fun with it.
Well, Leander Paes, Mahesh Bhupathi, thank you so much, guys, for joining us and being a part of this interview. I hope your show gets all the good reviews. May your show does really, really well. And all the best. Thank you again, guys.
Thanks, Osama.
Thank you.